Total Grind Radio, Total Grind ENT. Another episode of Live to Inspire. I'm yours truly, Eddie Brown. We're back yet again for another episode. Shout out to our partners, NEVIDEO in the building. And today's special guest, Hartford's own rapper, creative, Ziggy Da Great. What's good, man?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing good. Thanks for coming through.
No problem.
Definitely. So Ziggy Da Great. First of all, where'd you get that name from? How did you come up with that name, Ziggy Da Great?
Well, my name's Ziggy Da Great. Both halves came differently. First, Ziggy came when I was in middle school, just from some friends joking around. But Ziggy Da Great came from where I come from. We all call each other great. Like how you see somebody, you be like, "What's up, my boy?" or "What's up, my boy?" We don't say that. We say, "What's up, great?" or "How you doing? What's good, great?" or "What's good, kid?"
Yeah.
So it's like basically it's like, and then we all call ourselves that. Like it's kind of a moniker like people in the hood give themselves. Like Ziggy Da Great. Like they call like you would just say your name and say the great at the end.
Oh, the great.
Or like my cousin Zoe. He would call himself Zoe the Great, something like that. It's just it just rocks. And then it also like Ziggy Da Great. It doesn't always mean like I'm just calling myself great. What it is why I stuck with it is because it's like I'm basically representing my people too. It's like, and then also I also represent being great too. And then like because that's what we call ourselves, I just took that name on, Ziggy Da Great.
Absolutely, that's dope.
Yeah.
So from time to time, I know you've been doing this for a while. I know reading about you since like 7 and 9 years old. You've been doing this since you was a young kid.
Long time.
So what was that spark that got you to just go into rapping and get into rapping?
Well, my dad was a rapper.
Okay.
So seeing him when I was young, like the first time he actually put me on the spot and made me rap, I was 3 years old. I could remember that clear as day.
Wow.
It's some stuff like that you can't forget. It's crazy how your brain can remember stuff like that.
Yeah.
But but what really got me into it was as I got older, my uncle was the one that was like, he was cool with my dad too. So he basically looked at it as one day he just pulled me to the side. I remember him pulling me to the side of my grandma's house and he gave me a piece of paper and he was like, "Read this." I couldn't read it, but he read it to me and it was like for days and hours my uncle would make me read these raps that he wrote for me. So it was like from there, like since then. So since 7 years old, you could say I was writing every day. Since then, it didn't stop.
Wow, that's for a long time.
Yeah.
So now I know from time to time, I'm not sure how old you are now, but as far as like the 90s era, you grew up around that era?
No, I'm only.
You didn't?
No, I'm only 21.
You're only 21. All right, so I would say still early 2000s because that's when the music started to kind of change a little bit. So as far as from maybe say early 2000s for you, until now, how do you feel like the music has changed and what's your perspective on the culture now?
Well, I feel like it has changed because lyricism doesn't matter as much now. Not saying that it's dead, but now as the generations change, things have kind of dumbed down to more like only hooks matter and just the beat, people hiding behind a hard beat instead of having stuff to say.
Okay.
But it's like how I feel about it is, as time go on, things change. I can't really say like I feel some way about these new artists because it's like everybody expresses in their own way.
That's true.
So it was like and there's people have all different types of feeling for different type of music. Some people might want to turn up and hear this dumbed down stuff because they don't want to hear a bunch of stuff.
That's true.
Then sometimes people want to hear stuff. Sometimes people want to hear something that somebody has to talk about, like me. Sometimes somebody might want to hear a struggle that they can relate to, so they'll play me. Or people like me, people who've come from things that certain pains that you can relate to.
Cool. And to piggyback off that, when you saying music can relate, how do you feel like your music stands out differently than everybody else, and what message do you try to portray for your music to your audience?
I feel like mine stands out because I sound like myself. That's why I be myself. But I portray my music as in me. What I talk about, I just talk about what I'm going through. Like I try my best not to try not to sound redundant. What I mean by that is I try not to sound like everybody else. That's why I'm real hard about myself when I write. You would think like I think quality over quantity. Like
Definitely.
I don't put out a lot of songs like back to back because it's like what could I possibly be talking about that fast? Sometimes it takes time to say what you really gotta say. But me, it's like I'm not gonna say like what I rap about is to promote like the stuff that I had going on. I'm not saying like, you know, the stuff that I talk about, I'm not trying to put it in people's head like, oh, I feel like they should be like this too. You know, what I talk about with me is so you know who I am, you know, and what I've been through and how I think and what my mindset is like, you know, and how I feel about certain things.
Definitely.
You
That's
know?
what's up, man. You gotta stand out from the rest.
Yeah.
That's definitely key. So as far as, all right, your perspective on the industry now I know back in some time ago, it was more album sales on the first week and more product inside the stores and things like that. But now it's a numbers game. Yeah. It's more of a number game now with streaming and different digital media platforms like that to get your music out. One, your perspective on that, and how do you feel like it's better for the music industry now? And then two, what's your plan on marketing yourself to get those numbers up and, you know, stay level with the industry?
Well, how I feel about that is, you know, I was actually watching the interview. I forgot who I was watching the interview on, but this person actually, what I do remember them saying is this person actually said, you know, sometimes like on a lot of artists, it has an effect. It can be easier to some people, but have an effect on most because it's like, you know, some artists are so used to, like, you know, more people back then are not really familiar with the internet yet. Right, right. So it's not like they don't even know how to tap into the internet or market yet. You know, like me is like, you know, me being who I am, I'm only 21, I'm young, so I know how to tap into the people on the internet. Like, I know where to tap in on certain areas. I know how to tap in on Instagram. I know how to tap in on Twitter or Facebook, or, you know, I know where to say certain stuff at and where to put certain stuff. Definitely. You know, it's like you can't put the same thing you put on Facebook on Instagram, because not all those people have the same interest as they do on Instagram and Facebook, you know. And then I have all different type of fans everywhere. That's what's up.
You know? That's true. So shows and everything like that, how often do you travel and things like that, doing shows in the tri-state or out of state? Yeah, well, I'm just starting to actually get into more doing shows now, because it was like, you know, I was much more of the internet buzz was growing. You know, it was like when I started going hard, it was like my videos, and then, you know, the freestyles and all stuff like that started growing. Like, plus, like, I didn't really start really getting into moving until I was about 17 with the music, because it was like, you know, growing up, I didn't really have nobody just, you know, saying, come on, get in the booth, or just get in the booth. Right. It was like when I started like being able to take care of myself and started to provide for myself, that's when I was taking the little bit of money that I was making, and I was going to the studio every week nonstop, you know, making probably about 2 songs a week. I dropped one every week. Like, my first mixtape I ever did, I was 18 when I dropped it. I just turned 18 when I dropped it. Okay. And I say I was working on that since I was like 14. Wow. How many projects you got so far?
I have 3.
3 projects?
Greatness Part 1, I have Greatness Part 2, and I have Greatness Part 3.
Nice. Greatness Part 3, when's the last time that?
Greatness Part 3 actually came out January 10th.
Okay, earlier this year.
Yeah.
The top of the year, that's what's up.
January 10th, yeah. Greatness Part 3 out on Bell, out on SoundCloud.
Nice, nice. Ziggy Da Great is in the building. This is LiVE2 We got special guest artist Ziggy Da Great in the building. Now, Ziggy, or I would say, first, let me ask you, as far as growing up, I know you said your dad was an inspiration to you and stuff like that, getting into the rap game, but did you have any other inspirations as far as like mainstream industry artists who you looked up to, that, you know, you followed their path and sort of like, you know, just followed them, you was down with, your favorite artists or anything like that?
You know, that's a funny question, because it was like, I don't really have an artist that I can say I actually looked up to and was like, oh, I want to do it like him. Yeah. You know, it was just more like, I knew I could do this, and I knew it was really people around me, you know, people around me that I grew up with that was really inspiring me, you know. But it's like, say there are some artists in the industry, you know, I am going to say, you know, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, Busta Rhymes, Eminem, you know, I like Missy Elliott. I like the female rappers. Nice. I like all different stuff.
Late 90s, early 2000s wave.
Yeah. But, you know, there are some artists I like now. You know, like J. Cole. You know, I like Kendrick. You know, not as much as everybody else does.
Of course. You know, but it's underestimated, you know.
But I like Kendrick.
I was going to ask you who was hot now. Like, who was hot that you like now?
To me, right now, who I actually like that's hot is, to be honest with you, no lie, y'all, I like Migos.
All right. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Right now, your top 5.
My top 5 right now. Ooh, it's hard. I'm gonna be real with you. Might not agree, but it's because I can relate to what they talk about the most. My top 5, not in order, is J. Cole, Meek Mill, of course.
Yeah. Free Meek.
Who else I could say? Yeah, Free Meek. It's crazy. Yeah. Fabulous. I love Fab.
Okay.
You know. It's not really a lot I could say is hot. To me, you know, because I can't really relate to a lot of the stuff much that they say, but
No, I feel you.
yeah.
Or you could combine it with back when how you was growing up till now.
Oh yeah. And of course,
Because I know it's crazy. The sound is all different. Everything changed. So
okay, so like I say anything, I already said.
So you got 3.
Of course, it's Nas and Biggie.
Nas and Big. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's a nice little 5
I
right
still
there.
listen to old school stuff.
Why not?
You know?
Why
So
not?
it's
That's
like-
where it came from. You know, basically it's getting basically recycled, most of it.
Yeah.
So with samples and everything like that. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So as far as the projects and everything like that, if you had to do working on your next project, if you had a hit single right now, you had opportunity to ask anybody in the industry right now that's hot right now, in this era, and I'm not talking about old school or anything like that. Anybody right now that's hot in this era, you had an opportunity to get in the studio with, who would that feature be for your next single?
Ooh.
Random question.
You know,
I was thinking about that.
I'm gonna make it a little bit more complex. You know,
Uh-huh.
I'm not. You know, of course, I'm gonna say Meek Mill because that's the one
Right,
I grew
right.
up, you know, watching. But you know, instead of him, I'm definitely gonna say I would definitely love to be in a studio with Busta Rhymes.
Busta, okay.
Yeah.
So you think Busta had that feature with Busta?
Yeah,
Put that head out there.
because it's like, you know, it's not also it's his music too, but it's
Right.
also his videos and all that stuff. You
I
know,
wouldn't
but
doubt it. Yo, Busta shows is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
performance wise and everything like that.
I like people like I look up to people and I watch people performances. Like what's one of my main like things I focus on is always being able to control the crowd. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, I like being able to go on stage and, you know, make sure knowing that the whole crowd is with me. That's how you know you're doing it right. That's how you know
That's
you're
what's
doing
up.
it right.
Definitely. You answered my next question. I was going to ask you as far as when you got into the shows, how was you going to prepare for that? But of course, crowd control is everything like that. But
I mean, you know, I've done shows like, you know, like I haven't done as much as you think I would, but you know, I've done shows, but it's like one thing about me is I was always easy with it. I was always good with performing because even when I was young, like I would be in school doing performances, and it was like one thing that gives me the drive is, you know, when people think I can't do it,
Right.
You know, it's
Absolutely.
like, so it's like even myself, like me doubting myself gives me the drive. Like, okay, I know I could do it, and it's like it's different because it's like I'm one of the people now. I put myself in a position where once I'm in it, I gotta do it. You know, like I'm on stage now, you gotta do it.
Definitely.
You know, like sometimes I just have to push myself in order to say, you know, you gotta do it.
You gotta push
you
yourself.
know, and then it's like, so when I'm on stage, it's like I just zone out. It's like, but you also have to be like, you can't be a boring performer. Like you can't be on stage just standing there. Like as stupid as like sometimes, like when I'm moving around on stage, bopping around, I feel like I look dumb. You feel me? But it's like sometimes it's people like it might look dumb to you, but everybody else like you know, when I'm on, like, when I'm in the crowd and I'm watching somebody perform, it's like I'm watching them bop around the stage, it's making you want to move with them. I'm pretty sure they feel like, man, I feel stupid, but they like
energy.
this, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So as far as projects and everything like that, what's next for you with the music?
What's next right now is I'm actually working on a new project. I'm gonna call the 26 Letter.
26 Letter.
Yeah,
All right,
that's a mixtape. I'm gonna take a break from the greatness mixtapes right now. And
Okay.
I'm gonna start something called the 26 Letter. And actually, what that is the 26 letter. You know, Z is the 26 letter in the alphabet. You know, and Z's Ziggy, my name. You know,
Okay.
so it's to get them more familiar with the letter Z.
Dope,
you know?
dope. That's a good message right there.
Yeah.
And we're getting deep into it. So what's the idea for the project? Features or anything like that? What's
The
vision?
idea for the project, you know, I have so many ideas in my head. I don't even know where to start, you know. But one thing I can definitely say though is I'm gonna be talking more on this project about what I got going on the inside of my head, things I feel like, things I got going on within myself. You know, basically on this mixtape, I'm gonna introduce more to me to the world instead of just talking about, you know, what I went through and what was going on and all the stuff I was involved in.
Right.
I'm gonna talk more about what I'm got going on in my head and in my heart.
Okay.
You know?
So now the stuff that you was going through, was that all in the greatness? Part
Yeah,
1, 2,
those
and
are
3?
all in the greatness.
So now you're going to try to change the message up and kind of go in a different route so they can see another side of Ziggy.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So any ideas on visuals and things like that for it?
Yes, I actually do have a lot of ideas for visuals in my head, you know, but you know, usually I leave it up to the cameramen and do their work. I throw in my 1s and 2s and all that, but you know, I definitely got a lot of ideas in my head. When you working with me, man, something is always creative, always gonna be done. You know, I'm a workhorse. I get it done.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Before we get out of here, I always ask my artists this and leave them with a message. anything that you live by, a quote, inspirational message, anything that you live by on a day-to-day that keeps you motivated to keep going every day, just share it with the people.
Yes, a quote I go by every day to myself is something my mother told me when I was younger, and it stuck with me forever because it always got me through everything I've ever been through. And that one quote is, "It gets greater later."
It gets greater later.
And why that sticks with me is because, you know, it also applies to me because, you know, one thing that in my head that always kept me through everything I ever went through was I told myself, one day I'm gonna be on the BET Awards. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm not worried about that. You know, and why I thought about that was, you know, there's times where I've been through crazy stuff and I've got through it. So it's like, and every time I've got through it, it's like I was more stronger and way better than I was before I went through it. Wow. So, you know, you got to go through certain things in order to make you stronger.
Absolutely.
Life don't get easier. You just get stronger and know how to handle it better.
It gets greater later. I like that. You guys, it's a process it's a process through the journey, man. It's a process through the journey, and it's only up.
And they go with my name too.
It gets greater later. Ziggy Da Great. That's dope. Yeah. All right, leave the people with your social media, how to follow you, how to get the mixtapes and everything, and all that good stuff.
All right, my social media is, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ziggy Greatness, Snapchat Ziggy Da Great 96. You can find my latest mixtape, Greatness Part 3, out on Bell on SoundCloud. My SoundCloud name is Ziggy Da Great. You can find Greatness Part 2 also on SoundCloud, and you can find Greatness Part 1 on Dat Piff.
That's what's up, man. Again, Ziggy Da Great's here, Hartford's own rapper. Make sure you follow him, follow his music, follow the message, man. Live to inspire. Before we get up out of here, of course, the inspirational tip of the week. Work hard, talk less, do what you feel is right, learn from your mistakes, build people up, laugh often, stop complaining, invest in yourself, dream big, plan ahead, and love unconditionally. Again, that's this episode of Live to Inspire. That was your inspirational tip of the week. Shout out to special guest Ziggy Da Great, partners NEVIDEO in the building. Y'all stay tuned, Total Grind Radio. Peace.